Really.
Good.
One of the things that fortune telling was big, and reading the bumps on people's heads, and all that kind of stuff. My mother took me to, well, they used to be in the street sometimes, these fortune tellers, and there was, I think they called them phrenologists. They were people who read the bumps on your head. Apparently I was a baby, and my mother let me have my head examined by one of these head bump readers. And she said to my mother, the two things my mother remembered that she told me was, one thing, never stop this child from writing when she grows up. Always let her write. And the other one was, she's going to need 10 hours of sleep every night for the rest of her life. Well, I would love to have that. I do love to have a nice long sleep, but I haven't been able to swing that. Yeah. Yeah. Because that's true. I've always wanted to write, and I've always have written. Yeah.
Is it possible that subconsciously your mom telling you this as you're a girl?
No, I don't. I was writing poetry when I was 7. Yeah.
What kind of things did you write about back then?
Oh, I remember the very first poem. My mother used to write poetry, and her brother, my uncle Jack, used to write poetry. I remember the first poem I ever wrote was called The Star, and it was about a star. I can't remember anything about it. It was probably very, very primitive. But my mother was so overwhelmed with pleasure that I would be following in her footsteps writing poetry. I remember she cried. And yeah. Oh, and the other thing, because they were teetotalers, but they used to have great parties where they had a lot of fun. They'd play silly games and that, musical chairs and stuff. But they also recited these long, long story narrative poems, like The Highwayman Comes Riding Up to the Old Inn Door, and all these old songs. And my dad, he even when he was here in America, when he was in his 70s, he could recite huge, long poems, many pages long by heart. And they used to entertain each other at their parties by reciting these story poems and by playing on the piano and all singing and everything. Yeah. Yeah. They had a lot of fun in their own way, going on picnics and things, and no drinking or smoking, but they were Adventists, and that was against the religion.